Your business needs help. 56.1 million employees are employed by small businesses in the United States, and 99% of all U.S. establishments are small businesses under 250 employees. That means that your business should be listening to the only podcast dedicated to small business success. That's Growth Success Radio, growthsuccessradio.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Growth Success Radio. Good morning and welcome to episode 45 of Growth Success Radio, the only podcast, live podcast for small business owners. And this week I'm excited. We're going to talk to Ace, my interview. But before we get there, Growth Success Radio is live every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We talk to small business owners and those that support small business owners. And today's a little bit of a twist on that, but that's okay. And okay, because I'm getting a message that you're not all live, but I guess you are. Co-host below me, I believe, on some screens anyway, is Eugene Resnitsky. He's back again. He keeps taking weeks off. I don't understand what that's about. Yeah. Show is sponsored. Here we go with the phone ringing. Show is sponsored by Traeger Insurance, soon to be Traeger Resnitsky Insurance, right?
Correct.
And Scott Gombar Digital Marketing Agency. Eugene, why don't you tell us about soon-to-be Traeger Resnitsky Insurance?
Sure. For now, Traeger Insurance, we are a independent insurance agency based out of Meriden, Connecticut. What independent means is we take the client's information and bring it out to market to get them the best coverage for the most optimal price. And to summarize what we do is we speak insurance so you don't have to.
Awesome. And as mentioned, I am the owner of a digital marketing agency, and we drive revenue to small business, medium business pockets using all things digital, like Facebook, like this, like advertising, digital advertising, and so forth. Whoops. And yeah, see, that's the drawback to trying to go to Facebook at the same time. Like advertising, digital advertising, and so forth.
You're a little delayed there, Scott.
Yeah. Well, you guys messed me up. I don't know how that happened. All right, there we go. And as I just mentioned, we are live on Facebook now. So Eugene, you already there?
Yes, I am already.
All right, awesome. So Eugene and I are live on Facebook, so you guys can ask us questions there as well. If you want to listen to or watch past shows, you can go to growthsuccessradio.com and listen to all of the exciting episodes that we've had in the past. Eugene, any exciting updates in the insurance world?
Yeah, so it's I don't know if people consider this exciting because most people don't get excited about the insurance, but there's a lot of legislation out there now proposed in states to require those that have firearms to get firearm insurance. So that's going to be a huge deal in terms of creating a whole new market because I think they did 100 million people have guns or something like that was the statistic. So it'll be huge, and that's something we'll be able to offer to our clients because I just did a whole training on it. So if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to ask offline.
Hey, Eugene, Doug's got you beat with the company promotion in the background there.
He does.
Yes.
Right now, I just says Trag.
Try. Good job, Doug.
Perfect.
So, Dan, you're going to like this update. So you already know because we're doing this with your other business, Total Lawn Care, the call-only ads. Google is in the process of launching click-to-text ads. So you can actually send text messages through advertising on Google now obviously from smartphones. But so that's coming. They just released it from beta, so it will be coming very soon.
Wow, that's huge.
You might be my first victim, Dan.
That's opening up a whole new market. We like that.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And as I mentioned, we have Dan and Doug, partners in Aced My Interview. Eugene is supposed to be introing the guest, so go ahead, Eugene.
So good morning, Ace My Interview. How are you guys doing today?
Good morning. Really good.
Doing great.
Good, good. Why don't you tell us a little about yourselves and Ace My Interview?
Okay. Doug, go ahead.
So I'm actually a financial management recruiter. I've been recruiting professionals for about 25 years. I work with some major leading companies, place a lot of people. And when Dan approached me about Ace My Interview, he built this website that really is designed to assist especially young people and grads and entry-level folks how to improve their interviewing skills. It's right in my wheelhouse. It's what I do every day. And after about a week of contemplation, I excitedly joined with Dan, and we want to drive this thing forward and get the word out.
Right.
Dan, you have anything to add?
Yeah, so we built this company. So when I first built the company, it was technologically there. We're stable. We have a really good website. We had the great idea, but we needed the aspect of the interviewer, which is the company. And that's why I went to Doug, knowing that Doug had the skill set that he had and the experience. And I mentioned it to him just as, can I get your opinion on what you thought of the idea? And then Doug said, holy crap, this is going to be huge. Let's get involved. So that's how we ended up partnering together, and that's why we're here, sitting here today, talking to you guys.
Right.
It's awesome. So probably one of the most straightforward questions we're going to ask you guys. Why do you think it's so important that people prepare for an interview?
Well, everybody gets into an interviewing situation for one reason or another. Whether you're out of school interviewing for college, whether you're graduating from a college or university, interviewing for your first career opportunity. And you'd be amazed how awkward, how uncomfortable it is when you're asked standard interviewing questions for the first time in a live interview. I mean, kids are looking around the room. They're just very, put off by the types of questions and the answers that they should be giving. So if you practice this thing and you do it one time or two times or three times before the live interview, it helps immensely. It really gives you a little leg up on the competition. It makes you more comfortable, more confident, a little smoother flowing conversation. And it's an essential. I mean, we all have to do it. Why not do it the best we can?
Right. There's so much talent out there. There really is. And when I first came up with this idea, I was in school. I was a senior in college. I went to Southern Connecticut State University. I was a fifth-year senior sitting there, and I was looking around the room at everyone that was there and how talented these people are. And I realized that none of these kids had any real-life experience. I speak to business professionals on a daily basis. They don't. And how are they going to sell themselves? And so what I decided on doing was coming up with a product that would help you better sell yourself and be comfortable selling yourself on a daily basis. Getting the interview is that step, that threshold that you need to be able to break, be able to cross, be able to break right through to actually get the job and improve your future.
So, Dan, I don't know if you know, Jeff Arnell joined us, Dr. Jeff. He
Dr.
says
Jeff.
you're a legend in the making.
Jeff is the man, Dr. Jeff, man. I appreciate the support. He's unbelievable. He's so professional. He's got so much knowledge. So having him, Jeff, what's up, man? Good to see you out there.
Excuse me.
Just a little tidbit to add. So we did a career fair at Quinnipiac, where we were trying to get an intern for summer, fall, and spring semesters. And what I found was when we interviewed them, a lot of them almost had the same answer. So they were so canned because they didn't have that interview experience. Nobody's ever told them really to create your own answers. you ask them a question, you get just the same iteration of the answer. It was crazy just to witness it.
It's a really good point, and we found the same thing when we were doing our beta test. We spoke to a lot of people, had a lot of people go through the process. One of the keys to our session is we actually give a report afterwards that's a detailed critique, a detailed evaluation of where your strengths lie and where you really need to improve. And, we're brutally honest about these things because we want it to work. And hopefully we can help in that regard as well.
Great. That'd be great. So we stop hearing the same answer, just different person saying the same answer over and over again.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what, Eugene? We actually cater to the client. Okay, so we have, when you create a sign up, when you actually sign up with us, you create a profile. When you go to book your first interview, you actually have to upload almost like your virtual resume, which helps us cater the questions to wherever we're going. And the people that we have working for us are very, very skilled. They've been doing this 10 to 25 years plus and have a ton of experience with some really major corporations.
Awesome. So you mentioned resumes, so that was going to be the next topic we want to talk about a little bit. So there's statistics out there that seem to point out that recruiters and HR directors don't really pay attention to paper resumes anymore. Is that true?
That is true. It's got to be electronic. And quite frankly, in some cases, I receive so many resumes that to get down to the few candidates that really fit that I want to present, it could take me a day or two to go through 100, 200 resumes. Resume reading and reviewing is extremely quick. You got to capture the attention right away. You got to have the most important bullet points that fit the job up top. And, those keywords are key. And it's got to be done electronically.
It definitely does. Actually, which brings us to the next thing. We actually are adding a resume reviewer service to our site. A lot of people with their resume, they put things in the resume that actually hurt them. Okay, so we've hired an expert resume reviewer that can work with us and actually help people to not, throw themselves under the bus. So it's very important.
It's awesome. And what I've learned because of the world I'm in is that people or HRs and recruiters aren't just looking at resumes. The resumes don't weigh as heavy as they used to. They're looking at your LinkedIn profile. They're looking to see what you're posting on the internet, and they're looking to see what your world looks like on the internet. So I think that's another important point when you're looking for a job is to be careful what you have out there. And especially today, these younger generations, they share everything on the internet, and some of it is dangerous.
Definitely.
So what are some of the things that employers are looking for in an interview? So I know you recently focused, I don't know how much information you want to give away, but you recently focused on a particular industry in a particular region. Do you know what they're looking for in an interview?
In general, a good company wants the people like the people that work there. They want to be upbeat. They want to be outgoing. They want a strong professional presentation. They want polish. They want strong communication skills. Just as you might think of a top company and the type of professionals that work there, that's what they're looking for the next hires as well. So it's important to, again, practice these things, be comfortable and confident with the way you present yourself, and really, you have to have a resume that emphasizes your experience as it pertains to the job description. What does that mean? That means you really need to tweak and adjust your resume for every job that you go for, right? It's got to fit that particular job. Those people who are confident, who do communicate it well to the prospective employer, they're going to have a leg up as well.
Awesome. Dan, you want to add anything or?
No, Doug's 100% right. The hiring today is much different than it was, even 5 years ago. With the additional technologies, the additional industries, it changes so rapidly. And so with this company, we're looking to be ahead of the curve.
Awesome. I get one of my Twitter accounts scrolls messages across my screen every now and then, and it just said Tiger Woods spent 8 hours a day playing Call of Duty. I guess he's not working on his swing anymore, huh?
Yeah.
That's why for an interview. It's just play Call of Duty.
Well, he doesn't.
That's right.
He doesn't need the interview, so he's all set. I do want to remind everybody this show is also sponsored by Network and Golf, and I know golf season is pretty much, the last few days have been beautiful, so you could have gotten in a couple of holes there, Eugene. You need to practice.
I do need to practice.
So do I. But so we're preparing for next year, and if you want a free membership for the year, go to golfandnetwork.com. Just sign up there. All we need is your name and email, and you'll be signed up for a free year at Network and Golf. And Eugene, fire away.
Yes. So is the interview all about knowing the questions and knowing how to answer those questions, or what else is it about? Talk about the interview process.
Well, you got to know something about the company. You have to do really strong research on the company you're interviewing with. You got to know about them. You got to fit in their culture and environment. Big point. Most people don't realize answering the questions are not the most important thing. It is important to be comfortable and confident and show that kind of ability. But you got to know the company. You got to know the industry. You have to be well researched. A hiring manager does not want to see that you don't have the information on his company, his or her company. They love it when you have information, maybe even over and above the information that he's expecting on a particular company or industry. So you got to do that research. That's key.
Asking questions is so important. It's amazing. And you'd be surprised out how many people, I think the statistic is like 68% of people don't know anything about the company they're interviewing for, which is crazy. That shows that they don't really care.
Yep.
That's true, because it is very easy to get information today.
So, Scott, I just want to add in a little question here about, what Dan mentioned about asking questions. What are some good questions that somebody can ask if they don't know what to ask? Just some basic questions.
Well, the best thing you can do is you got to be prepared, because you will be asked, do you have any questions for me? Every interviewer asks that, right? The best thing to do is to glean your questions from the conversation that you just had. So whatever you're talking about during the course of the interview, keep a couple of questions on those issues in the back of your mind. And at the end, when they say, do you have any questions for me? That's when you bring out those questions. It shows attentiveness. You obviously paid attention. Interest. Clearly, you're interested in the conversation subject. It really is a very big plus to not just have canned questions that you're walking in the door with.
Okay.
That's awesome information right there. I hope somebody uses that.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend to job seeker to prepare for a job interview? Obviously, we know they should come to Ace My Interview. But besides that,
people laugh. I say get in front of a mirror, ask these questions of yourself, and answer them in front of a mirror. You'll be much more comfortable when the time comes around to do it in front of another pair of eyes. You'd be amazed how nobody does this, and it makes such a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. They say your biggest critic is yourself. So you got to be able to look yourself in the eyes, and that's a really good point that Doug just mentioned.
Obviously, the research that you do on the internet, asking people and friends and in a network, and any information that you get on a particular company is ultra important as well.
Awesome. Some good advice there. So now in somebody's interview, in the interview process, what are some things that they shouldn't do that would cause them to maybe ruin their chances of getting the job?
Pick your nose. No, I'm only kidding. Presentation is key. You got to hold your head up. Posture is key. It gives you an air of confidence when you're speaking with someone who looks you in the eye, has good poise, got good confidence. All these things are really important. And you also have to mirror the interviewer a little bit. You know, if the interviewer is a very low energy person who doesn't get real excitable, then you don't want to be over the top excitable, right? You want to mirror the interviewer's kind of body language and speech patterns as well, because unconsciously they're gonna lean towards somebody that's like, and somebody that's like them, and somebody that kind of comes across in a similar fashion. So you get somebody who's real excitable, you want to be a little bit upbeat with them. If somebody's low energy, you kind of want to not be low energy, but be a little slower in your speech pattern and things like that.
You need to be comfortable. You need to be comfortable. And that's what acemyinterview.com does. Is we allow you to gain the comfort that you require when you walk into the room and you're in front of a business professional. That's something that can't really be taught before this company right here, Ace My Interview.
So I have one thing people shouldn't do in an interview, because I actually did this, and it was not that it was one of my first few interviews out of college, is I forgot to turn my phone off the ringer, or furthermore, just leave it in the car. So in the middle of an interview, everything's going pretty well. My ringtone starts going off, and it was a very quote-unquote aggressive song. That was not good. So obviously I did not get that job.
Obviously,
Yeah, Limp Bizkit. Was it Limp Bizkit for you, Gene?
Yep.
obviously he hasn't learned his lesson, because the phone's going off twice during this interview, and somebody was vibrating.
You're fired.
I'm fired. Yeah.
That's why he started his own business. He just couldn't get a job by interviewing.
Yep. The phone was my downfall, so might as well just start your own business. So I do the interviewing now.
That's right.
I noticed you changed your ringtone.
Yes, I did. It's a little more subdued now.
I don't think he's listening to Limp Bizkit, Dan. I think it was probably NWA.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Probably was.
Yeah. So this is you can take more than 30 seconds, but this is your 30-second commercial. Tell us why people, and you can each answer, by the way. Tell us why people should go to Ace My Interview. Why job seekers should go to Ace My Interview.
At Ace My Interview, we are the interview experts. We let us improve your interview skills with real-time virtual sessions that fit your schedule and any budget. A great referral for us is anyone that's graduating college and looking to better their chances substantially and get the job.
Dan, it's almost like you're in BNI.
Hey man, I learned a lot from that place. So it's been great.
I just say, having interviewed literally thousands of people over 25 years, the folks that really do well are people who are serious about getting some practice, learning the questions and types of questions that are asked in every interview, being more comfortable and confident. That's what Ace My Interview is going to do for you.
Hey, just a quick add-on. So you guys do the interviews virtually. Do you find that more and more employers are also doing them virtually now?
There are some employers that have really increased that in that area. There are numbers and statistics out that say some of them don't do it so well. Some of them do it better than others.
Yeah, a ton of them are doing it right now. And that's why it's so important to use our service, because if you can do it, I tell you what, I'm not in front of a camera every day like this, right? So to be able to be comfortable in front of a camera and be able to talk to a camera as if you're talking to someone in person is so important. In case you do get that call saying, okay, you know what, Dan Thornburg, we need you to do a virtual interview. Do you have Skype? Do you have Google Hangouts? You need to be prepared, and that's what we do.
Dan, you got to get with the times. Google Hangouts is dead.
Hey, man, it's an option there. It's an option.
Not anymore. It's gone.
Is it?
Yeah. YouTube Live is where it's at now. But yeah, Skype is still around. I get interviewed for podcasts, and almost every time it's on Skype.
Really?
So yeah, Skype is still being used. There's a private. It's called Zoom. They actually started doing some commercials I heard on the fan, but that's being used quite a bit. Zoom.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We
And you're
want to
right.
make all these things available.
Yeah.
Yes.
As many options as possible. And again, personalize it. Whatever a person needs to use, we want to have that portal open.
But Dan made a good point, and I'll tell you what I mean. When he said that people are uncomfortable in front of the camera, that's true. I've never been uncomfortable in an interview, on a job interview, but I have, when I first started getting in front of the camera, I was uncomfortable.
Yep.
Not anymore. So if you can get in front of the camera and be comfortable, then you'll do fine no matter which way the interview goes.
The first show we did, Grow Success Radio, I was a little uncomfortable because it's new. You know, you're in front of a camera, and then thousands and thousands of people can see you, so it's just a little, uncomfortable in that regard. But after a while, you get comfortable, and I agree with Scott. I think I'm a lot more comfortable in person versus on camera. So if you can get comfortable doing an interview over webcam, then in person you should just ace that.
You should ace your interview. That's right.
Exactly.
There you go. There's a little plug for you. Yeah, if you want to see that first episode of Grow Success Radio, it's on YouTube. You could go watch it and see how bad Eugene was. No, he was. He only threw up 3 times.
And that's before the show started. So, all right. So if you guys had to summarize, why did you guys start Ace My Interview?
Well, I started Ace My Interview because Ace My Interview was a need. Okay, some of the best companies, some of the best solutions always come from a problem and a need. And I realized that there was a need for something like this. When I looked around at my fellow Southern Connecticut State seniors and juniors and saw how much talent there was, but there was just no way they were going to be able to explain their talent, and they didn't know what the real world was like. And that's why I kind of came up with this idea, and that's why I brought Doug on board here, because he's definitely going to be able to teach these kids and help these kids.
There are very few programs at high school level or at the college and university level that are really good programs that give people the help in assisting them to improve their interviewing skills. There are some mock things, some teacher-student conversations. It's not the same. Right? When you're interviewing with somebody who takes it seriously, who's like an employer, and that's the way you got to think of it, you're going to get much more out of it.
No, I agree. Because when I was at UConn, there was nothing to help you with the interview process. It just gave you a sheet of, the behavioral questions and kind of how to answer those. But there's not a lot of mock interviews or anything, even along those lines.
You're right. The written word is everywhere about how to be a great interviewer.
Yep.
Just not the same. A face-to-face live interview is a much better practice.
Right.
I would agree. I wouldn't take a teacher seriously
Yeah.
in an interview. Unless I was interviewing for a job, then yeah, I would. All right, gentlemen. So we have this portion of our show. If you've watched any of the past episodes, then you know this part. It's called the fire round. They're not always the same question, though. So it's 4 quick questions, and we're going to ask you, and you just got to answer off the top of your head. It's kind of like an interview, right?
Okay.
So Eugene's got the first one.
All right. 1 or multiple interviews for a candidate?
Multiple.
Okay.
Okay.
I read an article about Google once interviewing a candidate 23 times.
Jeez.
You think that's a little over the top?
It's overboard.
Overboard. He got the job, by the way.
Well,
But yeah, 23 times.
That's amazing.
He must have been a very funny guy or a woman, something like that was keeping him coming back. So that's pretty entertaining.
if you interview somebody 23 times, it's the same thing as them pretty much just working there already because they're there so much. Just might as well just give them the job. If you have them come to the office 23 times.
Without naming any names, I know several companies, and you know them too, that interview in that fashion. It's ridiculous.
That's too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I think they do it to try to weed out people. If you quit after the third interview, then you weren't
Yeah,
meant for the
exactly,
job.
exactly.
Yeah. Blue collar or white collar?
White collar.
It's definitely white collar. Definitely white collar.
Okay.
I'm surprised to hear Dan say that.
Yeah.
Well, today, yeah, but you're also a blue
I'm a
collar
blue
guy.
collar guy with the white collar mindset, man. That's it. That's exactly how I work. So
That's fair. I was gonna say white collar because you guys both have white collars. Is that why?
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm going with blue. I'm gonna go with blue. All right. Biggest passion outside of your businesses?
Family.
Family, friend. I like to read. I love reading. So I love the self-help aisle in Barnes and Noble. That's where I spend a lot. That's where I spend a lot.
You should have been with us 2 weeks ago. Were you watching 2 weeks ago?
I did. Yeah, I did. You had what's his name? The author up there,
Grant
right?
Cardone.
Yeah, he was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Really cool guy.
He is. He's very cool. He answered questions after the fact. I sent him an email with questions we missed,
And he answered.
and he got back to me the next day.
Nice.
Yeah. Best business advice you have received?
If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. That's the biggest advice I ever got. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. So
For me, it was perseverance. It's from my father, who was a lawyer by education, a salesman by trade, and he was extremely persistent.
Okay.
That's awesome. Hey, I just want to real quick. I got a text message. There's apparently a cyber attack currently happening, and Netflix, Twitter, and Visa are having issues.
I thought it was more. I heard Tumblr, Amazon got hit too. Apparently they attacked the DNS server or something like that.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. A distributed denial of service.
Yep.
That's the geek in me. There you go.
well,
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on today. We really appreciate it. And you guys really have something that will benefit a lot of people if they take advantage of it. So, of course, we hope they do. And the next time we talk to you, we want, I hope you guys are in Miami from corporate headquarters for Ace My Interview. How can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about anything?
go on the website. That's the easiest way. acemyinterview.com. Check out. You go to our contact page. It's very simple service. It's very simple. Sign up, book your appointment, pay. You're locked in. It's that simple.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
And this is me this time, Eugene. Next Friday, we have Kwame Christian. He's a lawyer who specializes in negotiations. Say that 5 times fast. So we're going to talk to him just about that topic, negotiations.
Exciting.
It will be fun. acemyinterview.com. That's ACED, just like you see in the background there. acemyinterview.com. Go there. If you are job seeking, even if you're not really job seeking, you should always keep your opportunities open. And I always said that throughout my entire life. I may not, Dan just vanished. I may not be currently actively looking, but I always keep my opportunities open because you never know when something will come along. So go there, practice your interview skills. These guys will get you going in the right direction. Eugene, any parting thoughts?
Stay safe and be careful what you put on the internet because everybody's getting hacked these days.
Apparently quite a few people are today.
Yeah.
Doug?
Great show, man. I want to thank you so much for helping us get the word out a little bit.
No
And
problem.
I'm sure we'll be returning with some success stories.
Good.
From the corporate headquarters in Miami, right?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe
Yes.
next time we can have somebody that actually went through your process to talk about it a little bit.
That'd be awesome.
That would be terrific.
All right, guys.
All
Have a
right.
good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.